Have you ever wondered why a woman suddenly stops seeing you the same way? Not because you changed, but because something in your energy shifted. One moment she's sweet, open, soft, and the next she's distant, distracted, and weirdly irritated by things that never bothered her before. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't lose interest because of what you did. They lose interest because of what you revealed. A single crack in a man's frame can expose the weakness he tried to hide. And once she sees it, her mind files it as danger. He can't hold me. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 behaviors women read as weakness instantly. The ones they never tell you about, but silently judge you on. Stay with me till the end, because the final shift, it's the one thing that flips you from soft and unsure to calm, grounded, and impossible to shake. Sign 1. You apologize too much. It's strange how a single word like sorry can slowly eat away at your presence without you even noticing. Most men don't even realize how often they say it. They use sorry the way people use filler words, automatic, casual, without thinking. But women pay attention to it. Women feel the energy behind things more than the words themselves. When a man keeps apologizing for every little thing, she doesn't see it as politeness. She reads it as fear. And once fear shows up in your energy, everything changes between you and her. Let's be real for a second. There are moments where sorry makes sense. If you hurt her, misled her, crossed a line, or genuinely messed up, apologize. That's maturity. That's accountability. But apologizing when you're not at fault, apologizing for simply existing in a conversation, apologizing to avoid an argument, that's self-erasure. It's the quiet way a man teaches a woman that his truth doesn't matter, his feelings don't matter, and his boundaries don't matter. And if you don't value those things, she won't either. Picture a simple moment. You share an opinion she disagrees with. Instead of standing by what you said, you fold immediately. You throw in a quick sorry, you're right, just to keep everything smooth. You're trying to keep peace, but the truth is peace without honesty is not peace. It's fear dressed up as politeness. Women can smell fear. They sense when you're hiding your real thoughts because you're scared of losing them. The sad part? You lose them anyway because you lose their respect first. Women are drawn to men who stand firm without being aggressive. Men who can say, "This is what I think," without shaking. When you apologize too much, you're signaling lack of backbone. And backbone isn't about being harsh or rude. It's about being centered, confident, calm in your truth. What she needs to feel from you is stability, not constant guilt, not constant bending. Here's something most men don't know. A woman doesn't want you to apologize for having a voice. She wants you to apologize when you damage the bond, not when you express your truth. The more you say sorry, the more you shape her perception of you. She stops seeing a man with a grounded identity and starts seeing a man who will do anything to be liked. Attraction can't survive that. Respect definitely can't. So here's your fix. Pause before the word sorry leaves your mouth. Ask yourself if you're apologizing out of truth or fear. Say sorry only when you're actually at fault, not when you're afraid of losing her approval. That's the shift that turns you from soft and shaky into a man with quiet, calm, unshakable strength. Sign 2, you over-explain yourself. There's a thin line between clarity and insecurity, and most men cross it without realizing. When you start explaining your every move, every decision, every plan, not because it's needed, but because you're scared of how she'll react, that's when your leadership energy starts to fade. Women notice this instantly, even before you do. They listen to how you speak about yourself. They sense when your words come from confidence or from fear. And over-explaining is almost always fear. Imagine you want to see your friends. A normal guy might simply say, "I'm heading out with the boys, I'll catch you later." Simple, clean, honest. But a man stuck in insecurity goes the long route. "I'm going out with the guys, but it's just for a beer. I won't be late. I'll text you when I reach. Don't worry, nothing weird will happen." Do you feel that difference? One is a man sharing a plan. The other is a man begging for emotional permission. Here's the problem. When you over-explain, she hears a message you didn't mean to send. I don't trust myself. I need you to okay my choices. Women don't want to mother you. They don't want to manage your emotional reactions. They want a man who moves with intention, not anxiety. Over-explaining makes you sound unsure, even when you're not. It pulls you away from your masculine center. It makes her feel like you're trying to please her instead of living your life with her. Women want clarity, yes. They want honesty, yes. But they don't want you to narrate your every step like you're defending yourself in a courtroom. When you try too hard to justify what you're doing, she feels like you're hiding something, even when you're not. It's not the words, it's the energy behind them. And this is where the quiet damage happens. Over time, she stops seeing you as someone who knows where he's going. She sees you as someone who keeps checking if it's okay to go. Leadership isn't about controlling her. It's about showing you have direction. A man who trusts himself doesn't need to explain himself. He communicates. He doesn't justify. He informs. He doesn't seek approval. If you want to fix this, practice saying what needs to be said and stopping there. I'm heading out. I'll be busy for a bit. I've got plans. Direct but still respectful. Clear but not anxious. When you do this, something shifts in her. She feels safer, more relaxed around you, because your energy finally says, I know who I am, I know what I'm doing. Confidence isn't loud, it's clean, simple, straight, and women feel that immediately. Sign 3, you seek constant reassurance. There's a difference between checking in and clinging, and a woman can feel that difference instantly. Every man has moments of doubt. Every man wonders if he's doing enough or if something feels off. That's human. But when doubt becomes a habit, when reassurance becomes a routine, when she becomes the place you run to every time you feel a little insecure, that's when attraction begins to fade. It usually starts small. Are you mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Do you still like me? Are we okay? Harmless questions, right? But here's the truth. A woman doesn't want to be the lifeline for your emotional stability. She wants connection, not dependency. When you keep seeking reassurance, she starts feeling like she's carrying both of your emotions, and emotional weight kills attraction faster than any physical flaw ever could. Women need to feel that the man they're with has an internal compass, a backbone, an emotional center that doesn't shake every time she frowns or takes longer to reply. When you rely on her words to feel grounded, she starts thinking, if I have to keep reassuring him, how will he handle real problems? How will he handle life? How will he handle me? Reassurance seeking pushes you into a childlike position in the relationship. You stop being the man she can lean on and become the man leaning on her. That shift destroys polarity, and polarity is what makes women feel attraction, desire, softness, and surrender. Women also interpret constant reassurance seeking as fear. But here's the part men forget. Women don't want perfection. They want presence. They want to feel that even if the relationship hits rough spots, you won't crumble. So what's the fix? Build your own emotional grounding. Pause when your mind jumps to conclusions. Stop assuming the worst every time her tone changes. Let silence breathe. Let moments be moments instead of problems. When you stop asking for constant reassurance, she feels something powerful, relief. She finally feels like she can relax into you rather than manage you. She sees you as someone she can trust emotionally, and trust is what feeds attraction. You don't need her to constantly remind you who you are. You need to remember it yourself. And when you do, she sees it, she feels it, and she comes closer, not out of duty, but out of desire. Sign 4, you prioritize her over yourself. This sign is sneaky because it feels like love. It feels sweet. It feels romantic. You cancel plans to be with her. You skip the gym because she wants to cuddle. You give up your hobbies because you want to spend more time with her. At first, she might even enjoy it. She feels special. She feels chosen. But the problem starts when your choices stop being choices and start being sacrifices. Women don't fall for men who abandon their own lives for them. They fall for men who have a life so full and grounded that she wants to be a part of it. When you start putting her above yourself in everything, she notices. She notices when you silence your needs, when you break your own routines, when you push aside your goals, when your entire identity becomes the man who is always available. It sounds loving, but it's actually a form of emotional weakness. You're not choosing her. You're losing yourself. And women can't respect a man who loses himself. When she sees you drop everything for her, she begins to wonder, what does he value in himself? What does he stand for? Does he even have a life outside of me? She didn't want to replace your purpose. She wanted to join it. Over-prioritizing her creates pressure. Suddenly she feels responsible for your happiness. She feels like if she pulls away even slightly, your whole life collapses. No woman wants that weight. She wants to feel like she's a part of your story, not the entire story. Healthy attraction comes from space. Space creates mystery. Mystery creates desire. Desire creates balance. When you stop prioritizing yourself, you kill that rhythm. Here's the truth you need to hear. A woman is drawn to a man who protects his time, goals, and identity, not one who gives it all away. So what's the fix? Stop being available 24/7. Keep your routines. Keep your purpose alive. Let her see that you have a life that matters to you. When you do this, something changes in her energy. She feels like she's with someone who doesn't collapse into love, but grows into it. And trust me, women desire men who are whole, not men who become empty just to make her feel full. When you prioritize yourself, she doesn't feel ignored. She feels safe. She feels drawn in. She feels desire rise again because she's with a man who knows how to stand on his own feet. Sign 5, you avoid conflict at all costs. Most men think avoiding conflict is noble. They believe staying quiet keeps peace, keeps the relationship smooth, keeps her happy. But women don't interpret silence as peace. They interpret it as passivity, as fear, as an inability to stand up for your needs. When you avoid conflict, you're not being calm, you're being invisible. Picture this. She says something that stings a little. Maybe it's disrespectful. Maybe it crossed a boundary. Maybe it made you uncomfortable. Instead of speaking up, you laugh it off. You swallow it. You act like it didn't matter. But here's the truth. She knows it mattered. She saw it in your eyes. She felt the shift in your energy. Women catch things men think they hide. When you stay silent, she doesn't think, wow, he's so patient. She thinks, he can't handle me. He can't handle pressure. He's scared of tension. And a man who is scared of tension cannot lead a relationship. Women test men without even meaning to. They push small boundaries to see if you'll hold your ground, not because they're trying to control you, but because they're trying to feel your strength. A woman can't relax around a man who crumbles under emotional discomfort. She needs to feel that when something matters to you, really matters, you will say something. Avoiding conflict makes you predictable in the worst way. She knows you'll stay quiet. She knows you'll fold. She knows you'll let things slide. And a man who lets everything slide eventually slides out of her respect. Here's the part men don't hear enough. Conflict doesn't break relationships. Silence does. Healthy conflict leads to clarity. Clarity leads to trust. Trust leads to deeper connection. When you avoid conflict, you stop all three from happening. You also become emotionally small. You shrink yourself so she won't get upset. You dim your voice so she won't react. But she doesn't want a dimmed down version of you. She wants a man who can stand steady even when things get uncomfortable. So how do you fix this? Start with honesty. Soft honesty, not harsh honesty. Hey, that didn't sit right with me. I didn't like how that felt. I hear you, but I disagree. Simple, calm, straight. You're not starting a fight. You're creating clarity. And when she sees that she can express herself fully and you can express yourself fully without fear, something shifts in her. She feels safe, not because everything is peaceful, but because you are stable. Peace isn't the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of a man who can handle conflict. Sign 6, you overshare your emotions too soon. There's a difference between being emotionally open and emotionally exposed. Emotional openness builds connection. Emotional dumping builds tension. Most men don't see the line between the two. They think being fully open means sharing everything instantly. Fears, traumas, insecurities, loneliness, childhood wounds, all of it. But women don't fall for instant emotional exposure. They fall for emotional pacing. When you meet a woman, she's still studying you. She's still trying to understand your energy, your values, your patterns. She's not ready to hold your deepest pain yet. She doesn't even know if you're someone she can trust long term. And when you drop heavy emotions too soon, she feels like she's carrying weight she never agreed to hold. Oversharing also gives away your depth too quickly. Women love mystery, not the kind that hides things, but the kind that reveals things slowly. When you reveal everything at once, you collapse the emotional space between you. She has nothing left to discover. She feels overwhelmed instead of intrigued. Emotional dumping is also a subtle sign of insecurity. It tells her you're looking for comfort, not connection. You're seeking emotional rescue, not emotional intimacy. And when she feels like she has to soothe you early on, she stops seeing you as a potential partner and starts seeing you as someone she needs to manage. Here's something men don't realize. Women are naturally empathetic. They absorb emotions like sponges. When you give too much too soon, they feel tired. Even if they care about you. They don't want to reject you, but they pull back to protect themselves. So what's the fix? Give space. Not coldness, space. Let your emotions come out naturally over time. Not as a flood, but as a slow river. You don't need to hide your feelings. You just need to pace them. Think of emotional sharing as breathing. Inhale, listen. Exhale, share. But don't exhale everything at once. Let her see your confidence before she sees your wounds. Let her see your stability before she sees your fears. Let her see your strength before she sees your softness. Because softness without strength looks like neediness. But softness with strength looks like intimacy, and that's what women crave. A man who can feel deeply without falling apart. Sign 7. You wait for her to take the lead. If there's one thing that destroys attraction faster than anything, it's waiting. Waiting for her to text first. Waiting for her to plan dates. Waiting for her to decide what the relationship is. Waiting for her to make the moves that you're supposed to make. Every moment you wait, she loses a little more trust in your masculine presence. Women don't want to lead the connection. They want to respond to your leadership, not control it, not overpower it, respond to it. When you wait on her to do everything, you accidentally shift the energy into something she doesn't want. You become passive and she becomes the driver. And women don't want to be the driver in romance, not long term. She might take the lead early on because she's interested, but if she has to keep doing it, she starts feeling emotionally tired. Leading isn't her natural role in attraction. Her natural role is to soften, to open, to respond, to feel your direction. When you offer no direction, she feels like she's walking alone. Waiting also shows fear, fear of rejection, fear of being wrong, fear of messing up. She senses it. She feels the hesitation. Women pick up on emotional hesitancy the same way men pick up on physical cues. When you hold back, she feels like you're unsure of her or unsure of yourself, and neither of those make her feel desired. Here's what most men don't understand. Leadership isn't domination, it's intention. It's saying, let's go here, let's try this. How's Friday night? Simple, direct, intentional. You're not controlling her, you're guiding the energy. When you wait for her to initiate everything, she eventually starts thinking, why am I putting in all the effort? Why can't he take charge? Why doesn't he show me he wants me? And the moment those questions show up, attraction begins to fade. So what's the shift? Start acting instead of waiting. Start planning instead of hesitating. Start leading instead of watching. Text first sometimes. Invite her out. Make decisions. Take small actions that show direction. Women relax into a man who knows where he's going. They open up around a man who moves with purpose. They feel safe with a man who steps forward instead of standing still. Stop waiting. Start leading. Because the moment you step into that role, she stops feeling alone and starts feeling chosen. Every sign you just heard is not about being less of a man. It's about forgetting your center. Women don't fall for perfection. They fall for presence, calm, grounded, self-owned presence. And the moment you return to that, everything changes. Respect comes back. Attraction grows again. And you walk differently, not louder, just steadier. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, because Olivia Rose is here to help you understand women on a deeper level so you can show up as the man you were meant to be.